Part 12 of the Story of Mary MacLane. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Reading by Kristen Hughes. The Story of Mary MacLane by Mary MacLane. Part 12. March 19th. On a day when the sky is like lead, and a dull, tempestuous wilderness of grey clouds adds a dreariness to the sand, there is added to the loneliness of my life a deep bitterness of gall and wormwood. Out of my bitterness it is easy for bad to come. Surely badness is a deep black pool wherein one may drown dullness and nothingness. I do not know badness well. It is something material that seems a great way off now, but that might creep nearer and nearer as I became less and less young. But now, when the day is of the leaden dullness, I look at badness and long for it. I am young and all alone, and everything that is good is beyond my reach. But all that is bad, surely that is within the reach of every one. I wish for a long pageant of bad things to come, and whirl and rage through this strange leaden life of mine, and break the spell. Why should it not be badness instead of death? Death, it seems, will bring me but a change of agony. Badness would perhaps so crowd my life with its vivid phenomena that they would act as a neurotic to the racked nerves of my nothingness. It would be an outlet, and possibly I could forget some things. I think just now of a woman who lived long ago, and in whom the world at large seems not to have found anything admirable. I mean Melusina Valeria, the wife of the stupid Emperor Claudius. I have conceived a profound admiration for this historic wanton. She may not, indeed, have had anything to forget. She may not have suffered. But she had the strength of will to take what she wanted, to do as she liked, to live as she chose to live. It is admirable and beautiful beyond expression to sacrifice and give up and wait for love of that good that gives in itself a just reward. And only next to this is the throwing to the winds of all restraint when the good holds itself aloof and gives nothing. We are weak, contemptible fools who do not grasp the resources within our reach when there is no just reward for our restraint. Why do we not take what we want of the various temptations? It is not that we are virtuous. It is that we are cowards. And is it worth while to remain true to an ideal that offers only the vaguest hopes of realization? It is not philosophy. When one has made up one's mind that one wants a dish of hot stewed mushrooms, and set one's heart on it, should one scorn a handful of raw evaporated apples, if one were starving, for the sake of the phantom dish of hot stewed mushrooms? Should one say, "Let me starve, but I will never descend to evaporated apples. I will have nothing but a dish of hot stewed mushrooms"? If one is sure one will have the stewed mushrooms finally, before one dies of starvation, then very well. One should wait for them and take nothing else. But it is not in my good peripatetic philosophy to pass by the badness that the gods provide, for the sake of a far-away, always unrealized ideal, however brilliant, however beautiful, however golden. When the lead is in the sky and in my life, a vision of badness looms up on the horizon and looks at me and beckons with a fascinating finger. Then I say to myself, what is the use of this unsullied, struggling soul, this unbesmirched, empty heart, this treasureless, innocent mind, this insipid maid's body? There are no good things for them, but here, to be sure, are fascinating, glittering bad things, the goods that the gods provide, the compensation of the devil. Comes death some day, I said, but to die in the sight of glittering bad things, and I only 19. These glittering things appear fair. There is really nothing evil in the world. Some things appear distorted and unnatural because they have been badly done. Had they been perfect in conception and execution, They would strike one only with admiration at their fine iridescent lights. You remember Don Juan in Haiti. That, to be sure, was not evil in any event. They loved each other. But if they had had only a passing, if intense, fancy for one another, who would call it evil? Who would call it anything but wonderful, charming, enchanting? The devil's bad things, like the devil's good things, may gleam and glisten. Oh, how they may gleam and glisten! I have seen them do so, not only in a poem of Byron's, but in the life that is. Always when the lead is in the sky I would like to cultivate thoroughly this branch of the vineyard. Now doesn't it make you shiver to think of this dear little Mary MacLane wandering unloved through dark byways and deadly labyrinths? It makes me shiver. But it needn't. If I am to wander unloved, why not as well wander there as through nothingness? I fancy it must be wonderfully easy to become used to the many-sided badness. I have lived my 19 years in the midst of nothingness, and I have not yet become used to it. It has sharp knives in it, has nothingness. Badness may have some sharp knives also, but there are other things. Yes, there are other things. Kind devil, if you are not to fetch me happiness, then slip off from your great steel key-ring a bright little key to the door of the glittering, gleaming bad things, and give it to me, and show me the way, and wish me joy. I would like to live about 7 years of judicious badness, and then death, if you will. 19 years of damnable nothingness, 7 years of judicious badness, and then death. A noble ambition, but might it not be worse? If not that, then 19 years of damnable nothingness, and then death. No, when the lead is in the sky that does not appeal to me. My versatile mind turns to the 7 years of judicious badness. There is nothing in the world without its element of badness. It is in literature, it is in every art, in pictures, sculpture, even in music. There are certain fine, deep, minute passages in Beethoven and in Chopin that tell of things wonderfully, sublimely bad. Chopin one cannot understand. Is there any one in the world who can understand him? But we know at once that there is the badness, and it is music. There is the element of badness in me. I long to cultivate my element of badness. Badness, compared to nothingness, is beautiful. And so then I wait also for someone to come over the hill with things other than happiness. But whatever I wait for, nothing comes. March 20th. There were pictures in the red sunset sky today. I looked at them and was racked with passions of desire. I fancied to myself that I could have any of the good things in the pictures for the asking and the waiting. The while I knew that when the sunset should fade from the sky I would be overwhelmed by my heaviest woe. There was a picture of intense peace. There were sketches of flat, green country, and oak trees and aspens, and a still, still lake. In the dim distance you could see fields of wheat and timothy grass that moved a little as if in the wind. You could fancy the cows feeding just below the brow of the near hills, and a hawk floating and wheeling among the clouds. A rainbow arched over the lake. There is nothing lacking here, I thought. Life and health and peace possessing. Give me this, kind devil. There was a picture of endless, limitless strength. There were the oak trees again, but bereft now of every leaf, and the bristling, jagged rocks back of them were not more coldly staunch. The sun poured brilliantly bright upon them. A river flowed unmoved and quiet between yellow clay banks. A tornado might sweep over this, and not one twig would be displaced. Not one ripple would come to the river. Is it not fine? I said to myself. No feeling, no self-analysis, no aching, no pain, and the strength of the Philistines. Oh, kind devil, I entreat you, let me have that. There is a picture of untrammeled revel and forgetfulness.